Good day everyone. So today we're going to discuss about the lesson 5 entitled Cognitive Learning and Technology Tools with Miss Paler Analorin.
We're going to discuss first our classroom rules. The first one is to do not open your microphone unless you're told to do so. The second one is one at a time. Raise your hand if you want to answer and then participate.
Objectives: differentiate between traditional and contemporary views of technology, discuss the rationale for using technology as cognitive tools, and demonstrate understanding of emerging theories that supports the use of technology and helps to create more authentic learning environments.
The traditional and contemporary views of technology.
Technology has inconsistently evolved over the past years, and these changes are brought about by a confluence of factors. We can actually see the difference of the two current situations that we are facing right now. Technology has been our source of information, especially today with computers or technology, we can easily access the information.
In Junasen,
He described that the differences of the contemporary use of with technology such as computers from traditional use. So traditionally, students learned from computer, but in contemporary times, the use of diverted from this technology, so it has become the learning with computers. So in traditionally, it has been the we learn from computers, but now in contemporary views, we learn with computers. Traditional views of technology. As a conveyor, technology simply provides knowledge. So this means that from our previous school years, we simply learn it because the technology already provides the knowledge that should be taught in the curriculum. So the second one, technology dictates what the student should learn or remember because of traditional learning about technology. It is already set on what the student should learn or remembered. The third one is the traditional views contends that the accuracy of learners' behavior can be anticipated. So what does it mean? So this third bullet that you can see in the screen, it means that the it can be because it can be anticipated because we learn from technology that is already planned and can be predicted in what would be the learner's behavior. So the fourth bullet is it is postulated that the contents or learning through technology brings about the learning on the students. So it means it is true that the contents brings the bring learnings to the students traditionally. However, it does not guarantee the true learning of the students because it only bases on the assumptions. Only bases on the The fifth bullet is interactions are limited and often not meaningful. So yes, it is true, no? Because as we remember in our previous school years, there is limited settings or limited interaction because the materials that were used in the classroom settings is not widely or not expand the idea of the topic, which leads to a not meaningful discussion. So let's proceed now to the contemporary views of technology, which is learning is with technology. The first bullet is technology serves as the intermediary between the learners and the source, the computer. So as we observe today, the technology links from the source, the computer. It simply helps us to learn and access the information together with the source. The second bullet is computers are used as knowledge construction and representation tools that students learn with. So this phrase tells us that using laptop and projector in the classroom setting, it represents not only the good qualities or views of the representation, but also it gives us the best quality of learning as we all learn with technology. The third bullet is computers serve as support in the development of the whole child since learning is holistic. So this bullet simply means that technology in contemporary views helps in giving support and focusing all the aspects of the child growth or learning's growth, not only in academic advancement, which establish the well-being of the students. The fourth bullet is computers are mind tools. In this bullet, it constructs the knowledge and apply the knowledge and apply it to build the students' critical thinking, especially in the applications, computer programs, and technology, which allows us to learn with it. The classes of mind tools. So number one is semantic organization tools, which aid the learners in examining and ordering their lesson or what they know. Examples are the databases and concept mapping tools. So these tools helps the students simply to identify, analyze, and organize the concept within a system based on the relationship. Then it also helps the learners organize what they know and what they are learning. So in these semantic organization tools, Person and Denner in 1988 boast that semantic organization bridged the gap between organizing information and the process of reading and writing. Organize and simplify information, which helps in viewing important relationships and in viewing text as a sequence of relationships from a paragraph to the next and in constructing sentences and paragraphs. So number two classes of mind tools is a dynamic modeling tools. So they assist the learners to link the relationship among the ideas. Examples are spreadsheets, expert systems, system modeling tools, and micro world. So these kind of tools that were used in the classroom is to get the students' attention about what they learn and about what they are learning, that will also help the students to identify the relationship among and see the cause and effects, which makes the classroom a more interactive. Number 3 is information interpreting tools. So the information interpreting tools, they help the learners to access and process the book information. So examples in this tool is the World Wide Web. So in this tool, the learners need this because the tool helps them process and make sense of the information that they have, and make this information more accessible for other learners. So it makes this information to be accessible to others, not only for yourself but for the majority of all. The fourth one is visualization. Visualization tools. These are tools that supports learners to represent mental images. Examples are data wrapper, TPT, diagrams, Excel, Fusion charts, Giphy. So these tools renders the information in the visual format, such as the graphs, the chart, which makes it easier to understand and understand the presentation of the topic in the classroom. So that's all for my part. Thank you, and
I will give the floor to Ana Lorraine to discuss her part about the rationale for using technology as cognitive tools and its emerging theories. Thank you.
A pleasant day. Now we will go through with our discussion, which is all about rationale for using technology as cognitive tools. So to start with, allow me to define what is rationale and what does the title implies. So when we say rationale, these are the explanation of the controlling principles of opinion, belief, or practice or phenomena. It is also a set of reasons of a logical basis for a course of action of a particular belief. So basically, the phrase technology as cognitive tools simply implies the computer-based applications that are normally used as productivity software. So this refers to educational technologies that help students learn by thinking deeply about the topic and increase their critical thinking skill. And also, computer technology can effectively be used to facilitate the building of conceptual models. So by encouraging students to use computer technology to build models that represent their personal understanding, the students are performing the role of designer, and technology is used as a cognitive tool. So simply put, when we say rationale for using technology as cognitive tools, means or refers to the principles which claims the role of technology as one of the driving force in shaping, in enhancing, and in developing learners' ability in cognitive aspect. So the first one is designers as learners. So accordingly, while working on mind tools, they found out that in the process, the fastest way to learn a lesson is to have teach it. As designers work on the material, they have learned and discovered that they could understand the lessons of course better when students are forced to study what has been given or provided for through technology or computers. So a cognitive tool does not do the thinking for students. Instead, it provides strategies and guidance to help students process information efficiently. So this implies that students learn better if they do or perform the task. The second one is learners as designers. So learners can undergo what Solomon in 1993 calls mindful engagement if given the chance to show who they are and what they know, allowing them to think and do more for themselves. Certain task is giving them responsible freedom to express their ideas, to explore, experiment, and create. This is actually helping them to understand more comprehensively the task and the world. So learners are free to execute what they know and what they can do. by practicing and putting it into action. So by doing so, they are enhancing their mental ability as well as their skills and social involvement. This will allow them to think and apply their learnings into real life situations. The third one is learners as thinkers. Learners must be guided to build on their own skills and knowledge rather than simply reproduce. Teachers should allow the students to reach beyond the classroom and make use of the various cognitive tools to develop their rich innate potentials. Cognitive tools and environments activate cognitive learning strategies and critical thinking. For instance, when learners use databases, they are in reality creating what they have in mind about a task, which will be easier with the use of technology. So technology serves as a great tool that excites and stretches their imagination to come up with a novel product. So students' innovative minds will be exercised in this sense. They are learning more deeply, for this involves a much more critical thinking ability by putting themselves in the actual scenario. It is like going out beyond their comfort zones and reaching their highest potentials. Again, technology serves as a great tool that excites and stretches their imagination to come up with a novel product. The fourth one is knowledge construction, not reproduction. Constructivism is a theory that underpins the way by which learners use technology as a cognitive tool to comprehend the external world. Teachers cannot interpret the perception of the learners, as each one has own sets of experiences, beliefs, and knowledge. With the computers as tools, the learners are able to create a picture of their own perception. So learners use technology as a cognitive tool to comprehend the external world. Students use computers to create a picture of their own perception in connection to the fact that teachers cannot interpret a learner because each one has a diverse experience, beliefs, and knowledge. The next one is reflective thinking. So, according to Norman in 1993, he distinguishes between two forms of thinking, which is experiential and reflective. Experiential thinking just unfolds instinctively from one's experiences with the world. The learners live through these feelings and respond to them. While the reflective thought, on the other hand, requires more careful consideration. Upon unexpectedly meeting a situation, learners use their own perception about it, contemplate about it, and try to find out possible effects the feelings may cause. The action helps learners to arrive at a judicious decision, but with outside help such as computers or other people. Computers can help learners come up with new ideas. So in reflective thinking, it involves consideration of the larger context, the meaning and the implications of an experience or action. So it means taking the bigger picture and understanding all of its consequences. It is a matter of reflection and contemplation. The next one is learning with technology. Learning through computers is an outdated concept wherein the learners just accept what is provided for without any data entered in the computer by the users. So the learners are seemingly controlled and are forced to accept the ideas fed to them. Learning with computers refers to the learners entering into intellectual partnerships with the computer. It is the mindful engagement of learners wherein holistic learning is achieved. Through this type of learning, the users of the cognitive tools are assisted to develop the different potentials: intellectual, emotional, social, physical, creative, and spiritual. So the difference between learning through technology and learning with technology is that the former is like spoon feeding. They'll just accept what is provided, while the latter, learners learn with the help of technology, especially in developing the different facets like intellectual, emotional, social, physical, and spiritual skills. The next is UN Intelligent Tool. So, the appropriate role for a computer system is not that of a teacher or an expert, but rather that of a mind extension, cognitive tool. Through the different cognitive tools, the learners develop their responsibility in knowing themselves well, a skill that is imperative in planning, decision making, and self-regulation. So this one is very self-explanatory already, and it just claims that learners develop their responsibility in knowing themselves, which is also very crucial or important in planning, decision making, and self-regulation. So the last one is distributing cognitive processing. Language is a universal cognitive technology tool, without which learners can never achieve a complex process. Arguably, it is language that expands the learner's mind. With computers as cognitive tools, learners can unburden some of the unnecessary tasks to the computer, giving way for them to become proficient. As the computer system does the calculating, storing, and retrieving of needed information, the learners, on one hand, should exercise prudence in choosing, judging, and organizing the needed information. Using computers as intellectual partners, therefore, is beneficial for the learners, with some cognitive learning remainder in them should they come across similar tools again. So this refers to a term that views cognition as a process that goes beyond the individual's mind. It is also a theory of learning in which the development of knowledge is attributed to the system of thinking while interacting dynamically. And take note that even though information is given, still learners need to think carefully in deciding what to choose among the given information. Now we are down to the emerging theories that support the use of technology and help create more authentic learning environments. So the first is situated cognition, in which this theory illustrates the essentiality of three elements: the tools or artifacts, the constructed environment, and the learners, in which the interactions of cognition takes place. So this theory suggests that knowledge cannot be separated from the context or situation in which it was acquired. What we mean here by situated is that learning is connected to a culture, a place, activity, or social situation. In other words, learning doesn't happen in isolation from other or our environment. We learn in and from specific places and interactions. So school is a perfect example of a situated cognition. But what students learn from school should be applied in real-life situations. To help students use and fully synthesize new knowledge, we need to situate the learning process in everyday life. So if we fail to apply it, then we aren't educating them. They are just merely storing knowledge and oftentimes forgetting it. The second theory is distributed cognition. So distributed cognition construes that knowledge occurs in an innate environment where the learners actively collaborate to connect them to cognitive actions. The interaction among the participants in the artifacts promotes learning. Communication, hence, is the central element that fosters learning. So in this theory, distributed cognition, a human cognition that describes how information processing is dispersed across people and their workplace, their technologies, and their social organization, and how information processing evolves over time. So it also provides a framework and method to examine the interactions between people and objects. So for instance, we are using a paper and a pencil to do a complicated arithmetic problem. And then afterwards, we may talk with a friend to clarify the problem. And then we must write the partial answers on the paper in order to be able to keep track of all the steps in the calculation. So that is an example of a distributed cognition. So the last theory is socially shared cognition. So this theory implies that in socially shared cognition, learners and the artifacts are shared at the same time, at the same place, by the participants. It justifies the belief that no two learners experience similar things in a situation, but they all encounter varied perceptions and sensibility together. So the theory further clarifies the vital role it plays in the allocation of cognitive to the learning community. So a shared cognition where collective cognition or collective activity from individual group members where the collective activity has an impact on the overall group goals. So in shared cognition, knowledge is constructed via dialogic thinking in which ideas are shared and pondered in a group or a community.
And that's all for the discussion of Lesson 5, the cognitive learning and technological tools or technology tools. Thank you for your ears and God bless.